Hey y'all. So before you continue to even fix your evil little mouth and say you don't think FBAs deserve reparations, of course you would say that. Of course you would side with evil, who brutally tortured, raped, humiliated, devastated, destroyed, heartbroke, punked, literally ate a group and called it a delicacy. Of course you would side with that. Of course you wish you had slaves. Of course you do. Of course we expect you to say that. But of course you was cool with the Asians, the Red Indians, the Jews getting their checks. But of course when it comes to those Black Americans who was enslaved for 400 years, and actually it was brutal unpaid labor that we all know about. Also another 100, 200 years of Jim Crow and redlining, we can't get our checks from our ancestors. Of course, because of what you think. Of course you support the racists, but you're not racist. Of course, since you're not included on receiving those reparation checks, of course you don't care about FBA, ancestors justice. Of course you forget that the ancestors was whooping ass on the other side, but of course you don't believe you reap what you sow. So of course karma is really not a bitch. But of course you forgot that the United States of America is the same exact United States of America that we live in today. Yeah, we have had no breaks, but of course you knew that. And of course you the same type of person that say black people need to get over it. But of course, like my ancestors told white people ancestors, my blood will stay alive in my descendants, and they will never forget. They will never forget. So you best get up off them checks, or just continue to reap those consequences and, reap what you're sowing and through your children in every generation. So of course you don't believe it. So of course we expect you to say the bullshit. Of course you against and scared that the money's gonna come out your checks for the United States doing right by the wrong. You are literally mad if the United States do what's right. Try to repay what they cannot fix. And you, of course, don't support it. But you know what you also can do? You also, of course, can take your ass back to your homeland. Or you can just not say nothing since you don't have nothing nice to say. Because mind your business, or we look at you as complicit. How about that? But of course, you don't care.